Emily Woodward comes from a long and distinguished line of actors. Her father was Edward Woodward, her mother is Michelle d'Autrice, and her grandfather is Roy d'Autrice. She is currently appearing in Mrs. Warren's Profession, a production from the Everyman Theatre in Cheltenham. I asked her to tell me about her role in it.
I'm playing Vivi Warren, Mrs. Warren's daughter.
And what do you do in the play?
I basically, in my mind, the journey that she goes on is quite a difficult one. She's a new woman. She's extremely intelligent. She's just got a degree at Cambridge, a mathematics degree, which is almost unheard of at that point. And she wants to set herself up as this businesswoman of her own right, and her mother doesn't want her to do that, and it's not her mother's plan for her. So it's a sort of a journey of discovery for herself, and this relationship between her and her mother that doesn't work, and that they don't know each other, and they haven't got a relationship, and the difficulties that they just don't see eye to eye. They don't want the same things, that she doesn't want what her mother wants for her.
Because this was quite a groundbreaking play.
Yes, apparently it really was. It was written in 1894 and then wasn't actually put on until 1925 because of the censorship. Right. And when it did go on, they were all arrested on Broadway. The crew and the cast were all taken off. So, I mean, in this day and age, it can still be seen as, yes, it's very naughty, but comparatively.
Do you think it relates to anything nowadays?
I think it can do. Yes, I think the same. There are the same themes. I mean, we look at prostitution in the same way. I would say there are things that you can compare. Women, women's rights, the feminist movement. It's all still going on 100 years later. Just maybe not so extreme, and we're not so aware of it.
Because the thing is that in the Victorian times, in fact, prostitution was, if anything, much more widespread and unaccepted than it is now.
That's true, yeah, that's true. It is. I suppose it was accepted, but the women were not...
Well, not maybe accepted openly, but
it happened, didn't it? Yes, yeah.
Covertly, right.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going through all this in rehearsal, sort of what was going on at that time. It does.
Do you know the play well? Have you seen it before?
Never seen it.
No.
This is my first show as well. So
really?
Yeah. I don't know the play. Christopher's seen the play back about sort of 40, 50 years ago.
Didn't Diana Rigg do it recently?
Yeah. No. It was. Who was it?
It was done the last couple of years.
It was in 2010 or 9. Yeah, it was done. In the West End. But no, I'd never even read it before.
Because it's a perfectly good play. There's nothing wrong with the play, but it's very much the poor relation to Pygmalion.
Yes, exactly. And Man of Superman.
And even sort of Man of Superman. Most of the others, in fact, are better known than
exactly.
this one.
I know. It's one of the plays Unpleasant as well, which I don't think they have done that many of in recent years.
I'm just
I think it's a really
why.
It's a really interesting play.
I'm wondering why. But I mean, there's nothing difficult about it. I mean, there's
you wonder why they haven't done it so much.
Yeah, on those things.
No, exactly. But I think it's really interesting that they are doing it. I think that it's. I think that people will be able to get something out of it. I think the mother and daughter relationship is really interesting. I think a lot of people. I think the relationships in it are interesting.
Talking about mother-daughter relationships, your mother is very well known. Your father was very well known.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a book a year or two ago about actors, about ageing actors. And there was a whole chapter on actors who had famous fathers or came from theatrical dynasties. I did say one of them.
Yes, of course.
Tim West.
The Redgraves.
Tom Owen.
Right.
I mean, how did it affect you as a person, but also in the business?
It's funny, isn't it? Because you only ever know the one way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how. Sometimes it can work in your favour, obviously, but I think other times people can say, "Oh, I'm not going to get her in for that meeting," or "I'm not." She doesn't. She doesn't deserve to come in for that meeting just because of that. It can. I'm going to give people that don't have any kind of in a chance. So I think.
But when you were a small child, was it sort of taken for granted you'd go into the business, or did you have other ideas?
They so didn't want me to, really. I wanted to be a show jumper. That's what I really wanted to. But I think you go through everything, don't you? I wanted to be a brain surgeon and a vet and all that. No, I had an amazing childhood, and I think that was all I ever really wanted to do. I mean, I sort of grew up on a television set in New York, seeing that every day, and the moment I decided I wanted to be an actress was when my mum was doing panto at Plymouth Theatre Royal with Les Dawson, and she was playing the fairy, playing it drunk, which was hilarious. And that magical feeling when I was 8 years old of of sort of everything building up to that moment. I'd seen my dad being so cool and running through the streets of New York, and I'd seen all that, and then I'd seen, you know, them doing plays, but then this moment of seeing this fairy, this magical fairy with glitter all over her, and that was my mum, and being able to go,
it's always pantomime.
It is, isn't it? I think had I been a child actress, things would have been very different. But
you didn't do that at all?
I didn't do that at all. I observed it, and went to, you know, lived a lovely life in Cornwall, and you know, when we got back from America, I was in Cornwall and had a lovely education, and didn't actually go into it until I was 18 when I went to drama school. So I think it would have been different had I started at sort of 8, 9, 10. I could have become very disillusioned with it. But they didn't want me to do that, which is interesting because my auntie actually was a child actress. She was the Carandatrice, so she was.
You're a bit of a dynasty yourself,
little one, but yeah, she was the little girl in Mary Poppins, and she did quite a few Disney films.
Well.
My grandfather was Roy.
Grandfather.
Yeah, Roy Dotrice. But no, I think coming from at 18 with a good theatrical, with the history, but also
you're not
good.
Going to be disillusioned.
No,
your
you
feet
can't
are on the
be.
ground by
Exactly,
that time.
exactly. Yeah, and I saw the wonderful sides of it, and my parents were so grounding and so told me to do other things. And